So Mattel just dropped some really big stuff with regards to Masters of the Universe in their three major lines, which are Masters of the Universe Origins, Masterverse, and Turtles of Grayskull. Now, you may have noticed that I didn't mention Cartoon Collection as a separate subline because apparently, according to the catalogs, they just treat it as Origins as well. So yeah, let's get right into it and we'll see if these are figures that I would consider pass or buy. So first off, we've got Masterverse, Skeletor, and Throne. So this is pretty neat. According to what we're seeing here, he gets the Staff of Ka and the Havoc Staff and a full throne setup. Very interesting. The head is a bit Alcala-esque. So he looks like he's got a mixture of Ka magic and Havoc magic here. And yeah, he definitely looks super interesting. Like, this is a fun way to get Skeletor as a character. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this one. This is, if I were, given a chance, I think getting a throne in this scale is definitely a buy for me. Next up, we've got Beastman from the movie. And wow, they really nailed him. He definitely looks like Beastman from the movie. He looks different enough from your regular Beastmen so that you can still, like, if you wanted like a full Masters of the Universe multiverse collection or a hodgepodge of different characters, you can still mix him in like a another villain. But otherwise, the sculpting is really good on this one. Multiple shades of metallic colors and muted browns that differ enough so that he's contrasted. I dig. He's one of the characters that hasn't been made into a figure yet, so a lot of the movie fans are probably going to be like super excited for this. Not for me though, because I haven't really collected any of the movie stuff. If I did, definitely a buy. It's only a pass for me because I don't collect these, but I definitely see the appeal. Next up, we've got Leech, and Leech here has his trademark stuff. It's basically Princess of Power, but like to the extreme. I had to like check if he was in any way similar to previous leeches, but it looks like this is like a beefed up new version of something that we've supposedly seen before. But essentially it's just Leech, the way he used to be. Next up, we've got Revolution Hordak. I really dig this. It looks like the cape is, around his shoulders as well. So that's pretty interesting. Any Hordak figure is a good Hordak. Although he does seem a little bit stiff. He won't be able to articulate that much because of the skirt pieces here for the robe. But otherwise, this looks like a really good Hordak. It's a bit minimalist though, I would say. I mean, he only has his staff and two hands, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. But okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, absolutely welcome more Hordak figures. So this is definitely a get for me. I can definitely see why people would want one. He's a good variant to add to the Hordak collection. I still want the Savage Eternia version from the CGI show. I still have yet to find that. Next up, we've got Cyclone. Oh my god, I really dig the clear parts on this one. I feel like we could have gotten more parts, but okay. I think it's nice that we're still getting what we're getting. But I'm used to Cyclone having all these, hoops and whatnot. But the thing is, I don't, just personally, I don't really like go on the hunt for heroic warriors, so I wouldn't be hunting for this one. But like I said, I can see the appeal. And I like the yellow golds on him and the metallic reds and the metallic blues. They look fantastic. So this is the new Eternia version of Cyclone. A pass for me, but I get it. Like, I would definitely recommend this to anyone wanting a new Cyclone figure. I also dig the visor or the faceplate. Next up, we've got new Eternia Thunder Punch He-Man. I don't know what's up with that face. The thing with He-Man is his face has always been weird in several versions of Masterverse. I feel like Classics is the only one that did him right mostly consistently. I mean, I dig the accessories, I dig the updated arms and everything, arm armor and chest armor. All of the armor pieces are really great. I also love like the weathering on the fur on his boots. They're pretty awesome, but the face is really throwing me off. What is up with that? I like the gold sword though. I like the gold sword. I can see people getting this figure and then supplanting the head with something better sculpted. I'm sorry. I know you guys tried on this one, but it's I don't know, there's something about it. And then next up we've got Battle Armor Skeletor. And wow, oh I dig the ram horns. It kind of reminds me of the Reborn Skeletor from DC Universe versus Masters of the Universe, but not in the same way. Lots of fun details. It's pretty much the same armor from the vintage, but done to a degree where it's modern and updated, just like everything New Eternia. And I really like the face sculpt. He's very menacing. Next up, we've got Mer-man, and oh wow, New Eternia Mer-man is perfect. He's a little lanky, but not too much. The Seafarer accessories here are from the original, and they look really, really good. What I really enjoy is the fact that his eyes are kind of like a mixture of the card art version and the actual toy. Leaning a little more to the card art version, which is my personal favorite, which made it to the Legions of Power variation of Mer-man in Origins. So I dig this. This, I think, is gonna be a definite buy for me. Next up, not the green goddess, but the snake sorceress Teela, the one with the power of the Staff of Ka. Oh wow, I love how this turned out. It's completely a new sculpt. No longer is she a repaint of Teela. She is her own person. I mean, it's still Teela, but a complete variation on the costume. And yeah, they just really nailed her look from the show. I also appreciate the snakeskin tail. And the Staff of Ka is really nicely done and really nicely colored. This is gonna go nicely with, you know, the Sorceress and the Havoc Sorceress Teela that I'm sure they'll eventually make. Man-at-Arms. Actually, this should be called Man-o-War, but okay. I really, 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 really like this armor. Wow, this is just a really cool new costume for Man-at-Arms. I don't much dig the faceplate, but I do dig the, you know, everything else. And I think this might be a reference to back in Classics when he was supposed to get a whole new body and basically be like Roboto. I feel like this is a reference to that, and I dig that. And yeah, I can see why this would be a buy for people. The color scheme just works really well for Man-at-Arms. Gold, silver, white, and black. It just works really well. It's very Power Rangers-y too, but yeah. So now we're moving on to Cartoon Collection, and everybody's been waiting for this, for Prince Adam and Cringer. And wow, okay, so we get smiling Prince Adam and a regular serious face Prince Adam as well. So wow, this is really cool. I didn't think I'd want the Prince Adam. I mean, he basically looks almost identical to the 2-pack with a vehicle version, but with smoother details. I mean, that pink on the vest is, you know, pretty close. But that Cringer though, that Cringer is a must get. I know it's not 100% accurate. People have pointed out how different it still looks. The eyes look a little wider than they should. But I personally love this figure. I love the options on the heads that we are getting. And this is a definite buy for me. Next up, we've got the collector ship. So this is going to seat at least 2 or 3 figures. And it looks really great. I don't have a particular, you know, affinity for this vehicle, but I can see why it would be a buy. It might even be a buy for me. I don't know. But if this was a Horde vehicle, I'd immediately say buy. Next up, we've got Cartoon Collection Spikor. I love the smoothed over look. He looks unique. And yeah, it just really works in this in this design, and I love it. And then we've got Clawful, who looks completely different from, how he looks in any other iteration. So, you can make him like yet another minion, right? For evil warriors if you already have a regular Clawful. Still though, I gotta say, this is a fantastic rendition of Clawful from the actual animated series. Because, like, it's crazy. Like, a lot of the characters don't look anything like their or look pretty far from how they look in the tunes, but Clawful is one of those that just like looks completely different. That's what I'm thinking to do if I ever do get him, because I do consider this a buy. It's just an excellent figure, right? Like, the dark red works really well against the orange. The contrast of that blue, really nice. So I might not treat this as a Clawful, but I do like the figure, and it is a buy for me. Next up, we've got Web Store. I might actually prefer this to the to the Origins figure. I really like the face sculpt. He is cartoon collection, but somehow he seems to be giving extra detail to the point that he would definitely fit in with your Origins figures. I mean, yeah, they're a little taller, but you can make it work with some knee bend. Like that he's a little more simplified, but he retains all the necessary detail as well. Next up, we've got Evelyn. You know what? This might be the definitive Evelyn for me, considering how different and unique she is compared to Teela. And yeah, this is a good Evelyn look. I didn't think she was going to be so yellow. I mean, it is cartoon collection, so I was thinking she would be more, flesh toned, but leaning toward a warmer flesh tone, not like yellow. But okay, sure, I can dig that. And I definitely think this has a place in my collection, so this is a buy. Next up, we've got Reptilax. Reptilax was part of the the subset of figures that were sketched along with Lady Slither, and we know that we're getting like her subfaction of the Snake Man, so definitely this is a cool figure to have. I can see why people would want this, and I am seriously considering adding the Snake Man to my... I hate snakes, but I really like the idea of the Snake Man, so this would be a definite buy for me as well. I don't much find use for Ram Man's axe, so I like that they included it here as a green axe. I feel like Reptilax works really well with the axe. So yeah, I dig that, definitely. Next up, we've got Vecna and He-Man from Stranger Things. Oddly enough, while I didn't particularly love the Demigorgon, I felt like it was such a weird mashup. For some reason, the Vecna works. The Vecna figure works. And I dig the flaming clock staff that he has. He definitely looks like he belongs to Masters of the Universe, and it doesn't feel like such a cash grab. And I do also like the kind of muted He-Man here. I feel like this might be a reference to him being in the Upside Down, so everything's like super muted. That might be it. I don't know. Let me know, guys, if you think that's what's going on here. But I like the muted power sword and everything, and the Hellfire Club shield is really cool too. Next up, we've got the Horde Trooper, and I'm noticing that he's got Trapjaw / Roboto parts. And interestingly, he's got a Hordak arm too. And that Hordak arm has a blaster. So it does look like what this suggests to me, at least, is that there will be another Hordak probably in the Origins line, which is more in line with the Filmation version, but done in the classic / origin take, because this is not the way the blaster for Hordak looks in Filmation. And next up, we've got Viper, and he's loaded with not accessories but outfit stuff. So his wardrobe is decked out, and he's got Evelyn's staff, so that's interesting. I definitely think he looks interesting with the chain and the extended neck and the cuff piece and everything else there. It just works really well. Very 2000X vibe, and I mean, yeah, because he's part of Lady Slither's whole crew, so yeah, that works. So I do think that this is one of those figures that I'm gonna regret not getting. So definitely a buy as well. And next up, we've got Michelangelo, and somebody pointed out how his hair looks like Donald Trump's, and I can't get over that. I wish they hadn't pointed that out. I'm not too keen on the turtles, but I do think it's a cool idea. I'm not too keen on the turtles being in the Motu line though, so I'm not really vibing with this whole set, but I do see the appeal. That hair is a little weird though. I get what they were trying to do. I get that that's supposed to be like a displaced wig, but like I said, it just reminds me of Trump, so okay. Next up, we've got Skeletor, and I actually think this is super, super cool. Like, this would be a nice, placeholder for, like, Samurai Skeletor from the 2000X line. I know it's supposed to be a TMNT thing, but he feels very much like his own figure. Like, he doesn't feel too much like a crossover figure. It just feels like a legitimate variant, and I enjoy that. I like the Havoc nunchuck blade things there. I'm pretty sure I just murdered that the name of that, but yeah, I really dig it. I dig the ninja star on the chest too, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we've got Casey Jones. So he's got some Jitsu parts, some Man-at-Arm parts, and some, I guess, Ram-Man parts. Or is that original? I'm not sure anymore. But he's also got, like, stuff that's very Casey Jones. So, for example, his hockey... No, what do you call that? The bag for the hockey stuff. I'm blanking. But you know what I love about this? He looks like his vintage figure, but like if he produced him in the Masters of the Universe line, which I think is the idea for everyone, but I think him in particular, it looks exactly like that. And yes, that's the same sledgehammer that comes with Triple H from Masters of the WWE. And just from for the nostalgia factor, it's a buy for me. Next up, we've got Teela, and she's got a lot of turtle accoutrement, but take away the helmet and those knee guards and the shield. She looks like an interesting remix of the 2000X version. So this is what I've been saying, that a lot of the new Turtles of Grayskull figures don't necessarily look like crossover figures, but just look like interesting, versions of the Masters of the Universe figures, and I think definitely she's one of them. I also think the brown gloves on her, that I feel like that makes her very battle ready. And yeah, the green has always been a part of her in the newer editions, so this is a cool mix of classic Teela. Interestingly, she's using the old buck as well underneath all that, so I guess if you remove all of that, you still get a classic Teela, albeit with a ram bra not really painted, but otherwise, yeah, this looks really good and I want one, so that's the buy. Next up, we've got Leonardo. So much in the way of parts, like wow, those armbands, the hood and everything. Wow, this is really, really well done. Personally, I don't much really mess with the idea of turtles in my Masters of the Universe, but I do get why people would want this one. But the next one, the He-Man figure, wow, he looks amazing. I like the cape and hood. I feel like, again, same with Teela, without the accoutrement, the turtle accoutrement, he looks fantastic. Like, I would definitely want to have a version of this figure. Like, his toes like are exposed. He has a blue vest, which is a little more in line with the Filmation version, but still with a classic design. So I like this version a lot, and I feel like I'd want one. Like, having him be battle damaged and have his toe exposed, interesting idea. I like the hood too, so reminds me of the Praetornia disguise, sort of, but less goofy. Next up, we've got April O'Neil, and what the hell is that? What the hell is that? Like, yes, okay, sure, those are some nice wings, but I feel like they're just too much. Too much. Too much. And then too little in the way of what she's actually wearing. Like, what is that outfit? What is that outfit? It's crazy. And it's weird because like the paint job is really nice. It's just that the design is weird for me. And I see what they're trying to do. Like they're trying to combine the sorceress and her jumpsuit, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. It looks weird. But the hammer though, the hammer looks so nice. It reminds me of the hammer of Solus Prime from Transformers. So I don't know. I feel like it's a pass, except, you know, for the accessories, which is sad, really. Okay, next up, we've got Hordak. Now, Hordak here, I feel like this might be a callback to Baxter Stockman as well, but these figures are not meant to be mashups, right? So this is basically just mutated Hordak, I guess. But the thing is, and this is very cool, is that if you just took like his arms and his legs except for the boots and maybe replace that that mutagen shooter with the blaster from Horde Trooper Prime, then you've got something a little closer to Filmation Hordak if you put those parts on a regular Hordak, and I'm super excited for that. But honestly, just this looks great. It doesn't look like a TMNT figure, and I will definitely get him even as he is. Like, I don't, you know, I appreciate the customization possibilities, but at the same time, I'm just cool with whatever it is we're getting. He looks really, really good. I don't know if I'll display him with the wings. I feel like I eventually will grow to like the wings. They're cool. They're very detailed and everything. It does remind me of the CGI version of Hordak, but I might just keep him wingless. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But it's a buy. It's a buy for me. Next up is Mer-man, and definitely a buy. I mean, check that out. He's got his fish parts. He's got additional armor bits to be able to, you know, tie together his lower half and his upper part. I don't know how well they're gonna mesh together because, you know, you've got an opaque lower fish part and a completely clear top part, but his completely clear figure, that I love clear figures, and I really, really, really dig what they did here. And so yes, it's a buy for me. I didn't think that I'd appreciate purple on Mer-man, but I do, and I love it. I love it. It's a definite get. Next up is Leatherhead, and this Leatherhead doesn't look anything like Leatherhead from what we've seen before, but like I said, in posts where I've seen this Leatherhead, I probably will treat him as one of the, you know, evil warriors and not as Leatherhead from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because he's just got such a great design. Like, you know, his shoulder pad over there, and, you know, his vest is fantastic. I love the head sculpt. It's so lifelike and almost cartoony in a good way. I dig the thimbles too. Those are pretty neat. And yeah, it's just sad that he has a hollow tail, but then again, so does everyone. So, you know, I feel like at this point, that's no longer something to complain about, because we knew it was gonna come this way. I dig the bear trap thing too as well. Next up, we've got Master Splinter as King Grayskull, sort of. So, you know, the interesting thing about this is, if you get this figure, you get the King Grayskull parts. And I'm sorry, Splinter, I like you a lot, but I'm probably gonna get the Grayskull parts, is why I'm gonna get this. So it's a buy for me, but not necessarily for Splinter, but for the Grayskull parts. Anyway, so that was me talking about, you know, all the releases that we're gonna be getting for Masters of the Universe this year. I am super excited. This is not gonna be it. You know, there's gonna be more that they'll be releasing, and they're releasing at a pretty fast pace. Thankfully, I'm not like a 100% collector. I just collect what I think is interesting. Although I do collect in like 3 different form factors, right? So I collect in Mega Constructs, I collect in Masterverse, and I collect in Origins. So yeah, me doing passerbys like this, you get a little bit of an insight into what I think is interesting and what is not. But there are definitely a lot of people out there who collect like literally everything. So kudos to you guys, and I'm excited for you guys to be able to get all of these figures to add to your collection, because you guys will be posting a lot of pictures, doing a lot of videos, and those are going to be so fun to see. And yeah, so follow me at x_Paco and the_art of X on social media. Until next time, peace out.